Okay, the next question, or I guess kind of case study, it's a true story. It's a woman who wrote on Reddit that she was asking the Reddit community, what should she do about a child who's about 2 years old? She thought was her son. She realized was now the product of her husband and one of her good friends who agreed to be a surrogate for her. So they went the route of a lot of people. My husband and I can't have kids. My friend offers to be our surrogate. We're going to implant the sperm in the egg or whatever. And what turned out to happen was her husband had an affair with this friend. Then the surrogate, her friend's always over while she's pregnant and all these things, but it's because they're having an affair. But she's considering, should I give up my parental rights to the child I have no biological connection to? I don't want to be married to this guy anymore. He's in a relationship with this other woman. What would you say for that kind of pretty crazy scenario?
What a mess. So that's the takeaway here, is what a mess. And obviously, like this is there's just going to be loss no matter how you splice this. Like there's going to be brokenness no matter which way that you go. But this is why we always need to look with very serious skepticism against any kind of technology, any kind of arrangement, any kind of cultural narrative that separates the iron triad of sex, babies, and marriage. Those three things must always go together. If sex, babies, and marriage always go together, there will be wholeness, there will be health, there will be thriving, there will be flourishing. If you separate sex from babies, like supposedly in this, they didn't separate sex from babies. He probably just went over and slept with her. And then they thought that this was actually a pregnancy through some kind of embryo transplant. Don't ask me how that was working out. But they thought they could separate sex from babies through surrogacy. That didn't work out. And now, the child has experienced fallout because they were not raised by their biological and gestational mother. And now the marriage is going to suffer probably through fragmentation and dissolution because they went outside the marriage, in essence, to create a child. And we see this too when we separate babies from sex, when we have this idea that you can take birth control and that is going to prevent you from having children, even though you are participating in the baby making activity for our species. And the result is a negative view of children, that they are not welcome unless you want them to be welcome, but also that birth control is not really effective at preventing birth so much of the time. And that's why we've seen an 8 to 10-fold explosion in fatherless children, because there's a lot of unplanned pregnancies resulting from the false promises of IVF, from birth control. And then, of course, separating babies from marriage is a problem because babies need marriage. There's a huge push, rightly so, in our country now for making more babies. We are far below replacement rate. We need to be at 2.1. We're at 1.6 and some change. And many people in leadership are recognizing we're in a demographic crisis, and they're trying to incentivize the creation of more children. You've got Elon Musk, who in essence is creating his own little harem. But we don't just need more babies. We need babies who are raised in the marriage under the relationship of their married mother and father. So this poor woman, this poor baby, this horrible guy, and this wicked best friend have created a terrible scenario. And it is because they believed that they could break that iron triad of sex, marriage, and babies.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's almost like the answer is that's why we shouldn't have done this kind of crazy thing in the first place.